You are watching WGSR 19.1 Reidsville, North Carolina, and we welcome you here. We have been talking a lot about coronavirus and COVID-19 since the pandemic began. We've been trying to keep you updated every day with information, and on Wednesday we received the word that North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper was going to go ahead and sign an executive order making phase 2 a reality. However, it was a more slimmed down version of phase 2. Some businesses can open, some cannot. And I know there's a lot of questions about what can you do, what can't you do. And so we have a first for Star News TV here in Reidsville, and that's where we have the mayors and we also have the chairman of the Board of Commissioners in Rockingham County together on one phone call, and we're going to talk about, even though phase 2 is going to happen for Memorial Day weekend, it doesn't mean that everybody needs to just go crazy and start going out and forgetting all of what we've learned over the last couple of months. Now, we're going to go through and introduce all of the officials that's joining us by telephone in our teleconference here today. We start out in Eden, North Carolina. Familiar face, Eden Mayor Neville Hall is with us. And then from the town of Madison, David Myers, Mayor David Myers. From Mayodan, Mayor Bud Cardwell. Unfortunately, Mayor Cardwell cannot be with us today, but we do have information from him that we're going to share. Reidsville Mayor Dr. Jay Donaker is also with us, along with County Commission Chairman Mark Richardson. From Western Rockingham County in northwestern Rockingham County. And by the way, let me add that I love the town of Stoneville. Mayor Kathy Stanley Galvin joins us. And then in the county seat, the town of Wentworth, it's Mayor Dennis Paschal. So thank you all for being here on today's show, and we appreciate all of you being here. I think this is fantastic that there is a collaborative effort of all of you working together to keep the citizens safe. We know that there's no lines, no state lines, no town limits, no county limits or city limits when it comes to this pandemic. And so I'm really pleased and proud that we're able to perform this service for the citizens of Rockingham County and our viewers in other locations too. So we're going to start out. I'm going to turn it over to Reidsville Mayor Dr. Jay Donaker, who's going to tell us more about what we are going to accomplish here in the next 20 minutes or so. Mayor?
Thanks, Mark. Thank Star News for having all of us to be able to come on. We've heard over the last few weeks from many people of our friends and neighbors about how it was unclear exactly how the governor's executive order was being implemented. There appeared to be, in some people's minds, a difference in the county and the different municipalities. So this is why we as mayors, along with our county commission chairman, are going to walk through what Executive Order 141 that the governor has just signed and exactly what needs to be implemented. Before we do that, though, I just want to say a personal thank you to everybody for all the sacrifice that we all are doing while we're dealing with the COVID-19 epidemic. So here goes. If you could go to the first slide, it speaks about the core signage that is going to be required as part of this Executive Order 141. What one needs to do is look at your fire code occupancy divided by 2, and that's the number that you will be able to have coming into your business. And that number needs to be shown to where somebody coming into your business can see it. At the same time, anybody who works for your business needs to have daily screening to make sure, one, that they don't have a fever, ask them, make sure they don't have a sore throat, make sure that they aren't feeling well, because if any of those conditions are occurring, they need to go home and not spread it among anybody that's doing business with you. Also, you need to clean and disinfect the high-touch areas of your business. Most often that will be at the end of the day, so that in the beginning of the day, the following day, if a member of the vulnerable population, anybody older than 65, anybody that has a heart condition, breathing condition, kidney condition, diabetic condition, can come in and walk into your business in which, because of the disinfectant has been sprayed over a clean surface, the chances of that virus persisting is much less. These slides that we're presenting will also be available, I know, on our city website in the future. But the next slide is going to deal with restaurant reopening requirements, and the Mayor Neville Hall from Eden will speak to that.
Thank you, Mayor Doniker. There's the next slide. This is one that's got a lot of people excited because we've all been anxious to get back into our routines of going out to eat and seeing familiar faces. So we'll run through this real quick. As a restriction, there'll be limited number of seats on your indoor and outdoor seating areas, not to exceed the maximum emergency occupancy. As Mayor Doniker spoke, half of your fire capacity. They are asking that 10 or fewer people be seated together at a table, except for members of the same household. So they're still encouraging social distancing while this is rolling out to the next phase. Then the workers are encouraged to wear a face mask if they are within 6 feet of other people. Surely that would be the kitchen people as well as the servers who are coming to the table. So hopefully we're able to wear a mask with that and prevent some of the spread. They're going to increase the disinfection during the peak customer density, and that's when they have most of their businesses, when they're most occupied, then they'll need to increase the efforts to get it clean. And of course, everything that's a shared object, utensils and things that are used, they have to be cleaned between each use. A lot of this stuff is basic for restaurants, as they've always done a lot of this stuff. So that and promote frequent hand washing, both for the staff and for customers. Hopefully there'll be sanitizer available for the staff, and as is always the case, they should wash their hands as often as possible. And then finally, marking the 6 feet spacing in the high traffic areas, such as like cashier areas and things like that, so you're not standing in line. And hopefully with this, we can get back to enjoying some restaurants, and the businesses need our help too. So when you can, go and support these places. So that's really the requirements I wanted to go over for restaurants. And now I will turn it over to Mayor Stanley Galvin from Stoneville. She'll discuss pools and mass gatherings.
Yes. As mayors here, we're responsible for the safety for our citizens, so we just want to do what's best for everyone out there. But we are looking forward to have everybody to get back to normal and enjoying their family and being outside. So we're going to discuss public pools. Indoor and outdoor pools may open. The user capacity limit to be no more than 50% of the maximum occupancy as determined by fire code. And just follow the core requirements for signage, screening, and sanitation. It does not apply to family pools at private homes. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and go to the mass gatherings. With the mass gatherings, indoor gatherings limited to 10 people, and outdoor gatherings can have up to 25 people. Households where there are more than 10 people reside are not mass gatherings. Outdoor mass gatherings limit of 25 people does apply to groups, beaches, and trails. And as mayors, we just want to reassure everyone out there, we will get through this together as a united county with compassion and kindness that makes Rockingham County such a special place to live, work, and play. So we're all in this together. We're going to get through it. Next, I want to introduce Mayor Dockery. He will do the exemptions for executive order.
And Mayor Doniker, if I could interrupt just a moment, I just want to let everybody know that Mayor Dennis Pascal from Wentworth could also was not able to be here, unfortunately, with us, and so his information is going to be shared by Reidsville Mayor Jay Doniker. And go ahead, Doctor.
Thank you.
Great. And this is Jay Doniker. I just want to pass on that Mayor Pascal passes on his regards, that he unfortunately can't make tonight's conference call-in, I guess I should say. But in his opinion, he wants to thank the people of Wentworth for doing a good job so far in practicing social distancing and wearing masks and doing all the things you should to limit the level of infection. But the areas in regards to exemptions from the executive order are worshiping, religious gatherings, spiritual gatherings, funeral ceremonies, wedding ceremonies, and other activities constituting the exercise of the First Amendment rights, and they are all exempt from the requirements that we have just stated. But we would emphasize that social distancing practices are still encouraged to help reduce transmission, because that virus is not a very religious infection. And it doesn't care whether you're at a church service or whether you're in a store or whether on a beach crowding around a beer keg. The bottom line is that if you're too close socially interacting with members of the population, it will be very easy for that virus to get spread from one person to another. So worshiping, religious ceremonies, funeral ceremonies, wedding ceremonies are exempted from Executive Order 141. However, there is a certain level of common sense that needs to kick in here, of which Rockingham County has a lot of common sense. So with that stated, I'd like to pass it over to Rockingham County Commissioner Chairman Mark Richardson, who will speak about orders of closure via the executive order.
Thank you, Mayor Donaker. Good to address these issues that affect us all. I'm not going to bother to read the slide in front of you, but suffice to say, these are the things that have not been included in the opening that have been itemized and listed for you. So while you read the slide, I would also tell you that I can't give you the rationale, and I can't give you an estimate for when those will be open, but there's specific rationale, and again, it has to do with proximity, the distance for social gathering. I did want to address particularly, and I've done this in the last couple commissioner meetings, that a reminder that the virus is going to be with us. We're not going to be able to eradicate it, live with it. And we have a number of protocols that include statutes, ordinances, and just general good advice, but nothing replaces common sense. We need to be constantly aware of our proximity to other people, and we need to develop habits and instruct our children to develop habits that will help keep them safe. And we can remind each other on an ongoing basis of how to protect ourselves. We can expect all these efforts to be ongoing for some length of time. We've been through it before, 1918, the Spanish flu, polio, and others more recently. And we're learning more about this virus and exactly what the main courses of infection come from. I'm sure there's a vaccine coming. I don't know at the exact time, but it will be roughly like the flu vaccine. It will be likely not be 100% effective, but it will give us some protection. In the meantime, I would remind all the public that you need to be constantly aware of this threat to our health, and to all the public that we need to practice these protocols and habits and develop them as a matter of course. And that's our best protection. I certainly appreciate the public, and I appreciate our health department who has done some numerics on this. And if you look at the numbers, we have roughly 50 confirmed cases of this problem in our county. And I think in great measure that's because people have developed habits that have helped protect them through the process. And I can assure you that your health department is going to continue to keep up with this and provide as much protection, including equipment, as they can. It remains important for all of us to stay aware and use good judgment. Now I'm going to ask Madison Mayor David Myers to talk about some public areas.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that, and I'd like to just echo Commissioner Richards' comments and to say that they're spot on right there. As we begin, basically, we used to say in the military, this weekend begins 100 days of summer. With Memorial Weekend, we need to really stay vigilant of what we're doing right now, so that we can continue to maintain control of the COVID-19. Parks and trails and beaches are going to be a big part of the summer. We know that, along with the pools and public playgrounds, they will remain closed, and we're going to have to put some word out on those because some of our rec departments have those public playgrounds. So we'll be getting word out on those which will be closed, and then those in the parks which are going to be open. Again, it's been mentioned before, each group on a park or trail or a beach must follow the mass gathering limit, which is 25. And operators, with respect to that, need to understand what that means. For instance, you go down to to an access point down on the Dan River, which will probably close due to the flooding right now this weekend. You don't want to be gathering down on the beach in close proximity to one another. Get in the water, go down, and have a good time. Operators of public and private parks must post social distancing signages, which has been posted out there on the governor's webpage. Request those with fever and/or cough not to enter. And conduct daily symptom screening of your workers and immediately isolate, remove the sick workers, and clean and disinfect high-touch areas as frequently as possible. Those are those things that are out there. The other things that are out there are some things that are strongly recommended by the governor. As I was looking on there this morning and this afternoon, this goes to June the 26th. Some other things may open up down the road, but a lot depends on what we do right now. So with that, in closing, I'd like to express our appreciation to our citizens for their sacrifices during this COVID pandemic event, even though it's continuing on and will probably continue on for some time. Okay, but the good news out of this is a lot of people out walking and they're doing a lot more exercise, and so yeah, you're getting the glass half full as you're getting healthier. It'll take some time for the citizens in towns to adjust from the stay-at-home to a safer at-home operation, but we'll make those adjustments. And then we're relying on all of us to take action as opposed to having to police inside of our stores during all the operating hours. So if you have any questions, we're going to be posting. I know all the other mayors will do the same thing. We'll be posting this brief as well as the Executive Order 141 on our government web pages, so you can take a look at that. And we also recommend that you do go in and review the governor's new Executive Order 141. It is lengthy. It does have a lot of detailed information in there, but I really recommend you do that. And again, I'd like to thank Mark and Star News for putting this out there today and pushing this information to everyone via this new means here, and Preston Mitchell, the Reidsville manager, for his efforts in coordinating all of this so we could do this today, and all the other mayors that are on here today. We had talked about how we could help one another and make sure that when we travel from one municipality to the other, the same information is out there, and there's no question in your mind. We do know we share a border with Virginia, so our neighbors up north also need to know exactly what's happening down here. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Star News.
Mayor, thank you so much. I do appreciate that, and we do want to I personally here at Star News and all of our staff and all of our viewers want to say thank you to all of you for taking time out of your busy schedules to be able to sit down and to go through this and to explain how this affects all of us, and I really appreciate you really doing this. So I want to go through. And before I close this out, I do want to say, as you heard Mayor David Myers mention just a moment ago, I want to say a big thank you to Preston Mitchell, who really helped out with this a lot, and to Missy Matthews. Missy made these fantastic slides to help to put all of this together. So to Missy Matthews, thank you so much. Now let me go through and tell you who is on our panel today, and I'll say thank you to each one. We'll start out in Eden, North Carolina, Mayor Neville Hall. Mayor, thank you so much for your time today, and I really do appreciate you being here.
Thank you, Mark. We appreciate what y'all do for us.
And then Mayor David Myers, you heard Mayor Myers there at the end. Mayor, thank you so much. I love Madison. It's a great location. It's a great place. A lot of fun there. And thank you for being here today.
You're most welcome, and also everyone have a happy and safe and healthy Memorial Weekend.
All right, thank you, sir. And we do want to say that Mayor Bud Cardwell from Mayodan could not be here today, but we do appreciate his input, which has been shared as well. Reidsville Mayor Dr. Jay Donaker. Mayor Donaker, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Again, thank you to you, to Preston, and to Missy for all of your help in helping to get this coordinated. Thanks so much.
You're welcome. As you know, we're all in this together, and I want to thank all the mayors for participating and their managers to being able to pull this together in such a short amount of time. Thank you to all.
County Commission Chairman Mark Richardson, he heads up the Board of Commissioners there for Rockingham County. Colonel, thank you so much for being here today. I'm glad you were able to be a part of this as well.
Well, it's my pleasure, and thanks to Star News, you've always been most useful in getting the word out to our folks. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. And then, of course, over in western Rockingham County, northwestern Rockingham County, Mayor Kathy Stanley Galvin, the town of Stoneville, North Carolina. Mayor, thanks so much. It was great for you to be here with us today.
Thank you. The pleasure was us, and I look forward to seeing everybody out soon, and just thank you for what you do for us. We appreciate it.
All right. And then, of course, Mayor Dennis Paschal wanted to be here. He could not. Of course, he had some other issues that he had going on. I do believe maybe budget talks or something was going on. He couldn't be here, but he wanted to. But, Mayor, we missed you. But thank you for sending in some information. So, again, what you've been watching for the last little bit, even though we are moving into Phase 2 just in time for the Memorial Day holiday weekend, the mayors of Rockingham County and the Board of Commissioners encourage you to remember safety while you're out and about. Even though the restrictions are being eased, that doesn't mean we should all just go wild at this point. Remember safety. Remember your 3 W's. Mayors, again, thank you so much. I appreciate you all being here. I look forward to doing this again. All right, we will be back. We've got lots more coming up for you on Star News. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a moment.